All right, you budding repairmen that like to fix all kinds of things. And for those of you that like my stories, here's three of them. These are three repair stories. Now, one of them is a more modern one. I might have told you this once before. I come out to do something outside my house. I look down the street. I seen two guys working on a truck, and the hood was up, and they're frantically working on it. And I said, let me walk down there and see if they need any tools. So when I got down there, the one kid lived across the street from where the truck was. And his old man hated me because I walked by one day and saw that the guy was using one jack stand under the truck. And I said to the guy, you never use one jack stand by itself. It's right on it. It's on it in big letters. So he goes, well, I also have a jack under. I said, I don't care. I said, that's not what it warns you. It warns you never use one jack stand. Even if you have something under there, things can go wrong real fast. I was a safety guy. I used to drive people to the first care. But anyway, that's the kid who's working on the car with the truck with the other guy. That's his father. So now the kid's a little awkward talking to me because he knows his father does not like me. So I start talking to him, and I asked the one guy, the guy's checking voltages of the computer and all that. I go, you're pretty good. I said, he's using the voltmeter correctly. And I got talking with him. I said, I haven't worked on a car in probably 40 years. I said, when you turn the key, does it crank? No. Your battery's good. Yes. When you try to crank, do you see a drop in the battery? I don't know. Okay. So I tell the one kid that's in the truck, put the lights on. Now turn the key. You don't see it dim, so the solenoid on the starter, however they do it, is not going. So I'm going through all this stuff. Every car that's never cranked. I won't say started, cranked. So finally I said, I was in tech school. This kid had a Rambler. And in order to start the Rambler, you had to turn the key, the ignition key, and lift up on the park, the Prundle, park neutral, reverse and drive lever. I told him that. I called it a Prundle. I told him a quick story about the Prundle. But anyway, so he tells the kid in the car to do that. So as the kid brings the lever up at a park and moves it up and down, suddenly the truck starts rolling forward. He puts it in park. It won't stop. He had to put the brake on. I said, the pin that goes up into the transmission that locks the gear from the car moving forward when you're in park. I said, that broke off. Something's wrong in that. He looks at me with this like amazed look. He grabs a hammer. He goes under the truck and he bangs underneath. And then he tells the kid this, and the truck started. I said, what happened? He goes, basically, when he was coming out of the yard, he ran over a crate or something. And what it did was it askewed underneath. Now, I wouldn't drive that truck. It hit something underneath and pulled the module down. The truck was already running, so it made it down to the house because the computer kept going. As soon as he shut it off, the computer's looking for that signal from the park into the park signal. Anyway, he was missing the signal, so the computer wouldn't let the starter crank. He's like, that was amazing. You fixed it. I said, no, I didn't fix it. I said, I put you in the right place. You went underneath. He knew he ran something over. So anyway, he went underneath, fixed it. That's story number one. Story number two. This is how quickly someone that you've known for years, gets mad at you. I mean, really mad. I went down to get a quart of milk or a gallon of milk, whatever. I went in the dairy. I come back out, and the kid I grew up with is with another kid, and they're working on MGB. I think I got the letters right. And the one kid looks like really frustrated. And then the other kid I grew up with, he was in my house many times. I played football, baseball. He was like a brother. So I go over there. I go, what's going on? He goes, we've been working on this for 3 days. 3 days? He goes, yeah. The kid says to me, Donald said he could do a tune-up on my car. I go, Donald, when did you learn how to do tune-ups? He says, I watched you. I was like, oh, are we in trouble? So I said, well, let me go home and get my Heathkit tester. And it was a kit. You build it, you put it across the coil of the car, the ignition coil. And when you crank it, so many cranks, the voltage comes into the unit, charges it all up, and makes the circuitry work. So you don't need any battery. You crank it, you can do your dwell, your tack, you can measure the battery of the car. Put that across the coil. I tell the guy to crank it. He cranks it. It's reading 12 volts. It's not pulsing. I said, shut it off. I said, your spark coil is getting straight DC. There's no pulsing. I said, I have to go in the distributor. So I said to the kid that I go, but did you? Oh, I changed the points. I said, all right, I'll open the distributor. I look down in there. Now on a Chevy, the points have in the middle. It's spring loaded, and it's got an insulator in this band, which then goes over and a screw goes to ground. So anyway, as the points, there's a cam that pushes the points, and they break and make. Well, I look down, and there's two shoulder washers, nylon shoulder washers. They're both on the same side. So now, the kid I grew up with, his mother was nuts. He starts talking like there's a spirit in the car that's that's what he's talking about. He's nuts. He's in my fucking ear, too. So anyway, I undo a nut, or it was a post. I take the points out. I put one shoulder washer down at the bottom, put it on. He goes, that's how it was. I mean, he starts dancing around, and he did this thing with his nose. I won't do it. But anyway, I put the points in. I come in through the top with the shoulder washer. I put in another washer, whatever, and the nut or the post or whatever. Kid goes in. He starts the car up. He starts right up. So then the kid that I grew up with goes in the house. I thought he went in to go to the bathroom or something. So I did the dwell and the tack, and got the car running smooth. And then the kid says, how much do you want? I said, no. I said, I'm friends with Donald. He goes, he's not coming back out. I go, you kidding? I said, when did he start that? Well, he was doing drugs heavily, and he had changed. All right? I might tell you more stories about him, how he screwed me over. But he's dead now. He died last month. Owes me a lot of money. He's dead. He's not forgotten. But anyway, now the next repair is really frustrating. Christmas Eve. I'm sitting in my captain's chair in the living room, relaxing. It's Christmas Eve. And I'm thinking back of all the people that are dead. They're dead. They're all dead. I'm sitting there, and the phone rings. 9 o'clock at night, the phone rings. And it's my neighbor down the street. She's all upset. She's trying to clean up. They trimmed the Christmas tree, and she's trying to clean it up, but the vacuum's clogged. And her husband, who's an engineer, can't figure out how to unclog the vacuum cleaner. So I go over there, and they're hoarders. The whole house is packed with crap. We're down in the cellar. His workbench, you can't get into the workbench. So there we are. We're on top of the washing machine. I close the lid. I'm on top, and it was a stupid vacuum. Oh no! Right here when I hate that fucking vacuum. Well, anyway, the vacuum cleaner was sold on TV and everywhere, and it was a piece of shit. It wasn't. Well, anyway, what it was is you look at the manual, and there's a rubber gasket you have to peel up, or a flap. You peel it up, you press a button, the handle comes up. An Oric. It was an Oric vacuum. They're garbage. What you vacuum goes up through the handle into the bag, just like the old company that was down in South Jersey that invented the whole idea. Well, anyway, as soon as I undo the rubber to push the button, he grabs the fucking vacuum out of my hand. And all his wife said was, Howard, to him. I almost broke the guy's fucking nose. I wanted to hit him really bad. But he was starting to go senile then. They didn't know it. I knew it. So I grabbed it back. And I told her, I said, when you bought this Oric, I told you this was going to happen. I kind of scolded her. And then I took it apart, and then I had to get a stick and go through the handle and get all the Christmas tree out. She vacuumed up Christmas tree branches with an Oric. Right? The two of them. She went right after him. He went senile. She went senile. Well, anyway, this is how the people treated me. So I was doing vacuum repair, and she says, I need bags for my work. So I said, they're $15. Oh, that's too much money. I got them for $7. I said, well, how many were in the package? 3. Well, my package had 6. So she started shaking her head at me. I took the work and went the bags and went back home. She drives all the way up to the Oric place, and Oric wanted $27 for a package of 6. The package of 3 didn't exist anymore. So now she calls me up. But in the interim, I took all my vacuum stuff. That was the breaking point for me. I took all my vacuum stuff and sold it to my friend. See, I got into vacuum repair, and when I bought everything, I took what he bought. He was miles away from me, so I couldn't steal his customers. I bought all the stuff he stocked, and I told him, I said, "Don't, if this doesn't work out for me, I'll sell you this stuff at cost." And that's what I did. So a couple of weeks later, she called me. I said, "I'm not repairing vacuums anymore." Well, she said, "I'll just buy the bags." I said, "They're up at my friend's store." Well, could you drive up there? No, no. Well, why? No. Yeah, she's like, "Well, why wouldn't you drive all the way up as a favor?" Well, he's like 20 miles away, 20 miles up, 20 miles back to get what, $1 in your demented, senile mind. I started realizing that old people stay away from people across the street. Same neighborhood back in Jersey. My computer don't work. She couldn't even say, "Hi, John, how you doing? Could you come over and learn?" My computer don't work. That's how she talked. Grew up around these people, didn't realize how rude and crude they were. I go over there. I had the guy from Comcast in here. And what he did was he tested the signal from the pole into the house to the junction box or to the router, whatever you want to call it. So he was in, he wouldn't do any more for me, blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. So I look and I go, okay, we need a cable that goes from the router to the computer. So she starts arguing with me. Never needed a cable before. Blah, 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 blah. This is what they always do to me. When I tell them what we need, they argue with me. So I knew she disconnected the computer and went to Florida. So I leaned over and looked down behind it. First, I looked on the floor under the desk. "What do you look for?" I said, "I'm looking for the cable." "There's no cable. It never had a cable before." So I look, and trapped behind the desk is a cable. I pull it up. I plug it into the computer. I put it into the router, and she pushes me out of the way. I'm not kidding you, pal. Or gang, I'm not kidding you. This is how I was treated. This is why I am the way I was. She didn't say thank you. All right? But from then on, whenever she had a problem, I said, call somebody. Call somebody. I ain't doing that. I'm not going to be treated like that. All right? And now people here pull the same crap, and they just get the no. And then what part of no don't you effing know when they push it? Because they're looking to get something fixed for free. They're looking to get a favor for free. They're never going to return the favor. All right? It's that simple. Once you understand that, oh, you should be the nice guy. No, I was the nice guy. That's about it. I think that's it. I want you to understand what it's like to be a repairman. At first, they will smile. They might say thank you. But after a while, they want you to come like right away. And especially old people. They have children. They call me up. Sometimes their children call, "Can you go over and help my father out? I can't get over there." Yeah, you have a life. I don't, according to you. You just insulted me. Well, you have nothing better to do. They actually used to say that to me. "You have nothing better to do. Go over and help my father." And so when one of these guys dies, I'm kind of happy. I think that's it. All right, that's it.